Good morning. Yeah, I can see we're starting. Good morning, everybody. Karibuni sana. You can share the passcode to a friend and tell them that we are live. And today we have a very interesting topic about eTIMS and iTax. We're going to do a bit of practicals. So I hope you're ready for some practical class. So as usual, my name is Regina Kingori. I'm so excited to have you on board and to have you here. On the chat, I can see your chats, so possibly you can say good morning to me, and you can tell me. We can give it 5 minutes or 2 minutes before we start, so that we can have a bigger quorum. So you can share. You can tell me good morning and where you're watching the webinar from. Kindly share with me where you're watching the webinar from. And if this was your first time to come in, I would also want to know if this was your first time. You can share, the meeting code is there. You can just share to a friend. They can be able to join in and we learn together. eTIMS is a hot debate. So let them come in and cannot hear anything. Okay. Let them come in and okay. So let me also ask you, is this the first time for you to be here? Is it the first time? If it is the first time, you can say a yes, so that we get time to welcome you. So if this is your first time, just tell me a yes. So if this is your first time, and if you can hear me, you can say, there are people who are saying about the sound, just you alert me. But I know that Jeremiah is joining for the first time. Karibu sana, Doreen, Martin, karibuni sana. We've been doing this. Oh, Mombasa, Kelvin Mwakavi. Thank you so much. Thank you. So for you who have been here for the first time, I really welcome you to come and join us. And we always host these webinars every single month. And I can also see someone from Marakwet, karibu sana. So just come along and we're going to learn. So I welcome you. We always host every time, every month, and you can check us on social media. That is Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can follow us. Just follow us on our socials, and every time we have this, you can always watch the webinar with us and learn. So we've been having the Finance Bill 2024 and a lot of issues coming along. I don't know how you have participated, or are we having Generation Z in our webinar today? They have done so many. I don't know if they are still demonstrating today, but we have seen a revolution of another type of a group. So I don't know what is your take on the Finance Bill 2024, and possibly by next week we'll go to the third hearing, and after the third hearing we are going to it's going to be assented by the president, and it's going to be low. So possibly by July, it should be an act, but during our KRA trends, we always have a webinar where we talk about the trends and what is new. We'll talk about it. So today I'll not talk about the Finance Bill 2024. We really talked about it. So leo wacha tuongee eTIMS na iTax. So I will still invite you possibly about 2 weeks time to also talk about it and to talk about the changes, because I'm very sure by that time the changes will be there, and we'll learn now what is the changes, what is going to be low, and at what particular time, because also their timings, some will be in July, some other taxes will be effective in September, others in January. So we'll share all those details once the whole process is complete. So karibuni sana. Just keep sharing the codes, and I'm hoping you're having your PIN number and a password. So if you're having your PIN number and a password, say yes, because today is a practical class. I want to open iTax with you. So I want to know, do you have a PIN and a password? So tell me yes if you have it. So I want to see if you're having the PIN and the password on the chat. Brian, Mesema, yes? Yes. So I want you to get it. I'll start talking about it. Teams. So have your PIN and password for you to be able to learn along with me. So let's proceed. So let's proceed to the learning. And I hope you can be able to see my notes. Understanding eTIMS and iTax. So there's nothing certain in the world but death and taxes. Yes, we have had that in Parliament the whole of this week. So for eTIMS, we're going to talk about, let me see, and if you're having a challenge, yes, we can use a company PIN. Yes, I'm going to use a company PIN. So I'm going to do a demonstration for a company. So even having a company PIN will be okay. So I don't know if we get time to demonstrate how to file for taxes. Ama we leave it so that you can give us the work. So we're going to see. So eTIMS content is the review, the overview, how to navigate eTIMS client, navigating eTIMS portal, navigating iTax, and changes in iTax. So that is our content for today. And I'm very sure that you're going to get a lot of materials. And I'm going to share, because we've packed so many content. I'm going to share these notes with you. So my co-host is going to show you how you can give us your email. Then you're going to share the notes with you. So eTIMS Overview is a digital platform implemented by the Kenyan government that facilitates electronic invoicing for businesses and taxpayers to enhance tax compliance and monitoring. So it is a platform that is helping you do invoicing. So previously, if you remember, we were using ETRs for them that know that. And then we went on Teams, and then we came to eTIMS. So starting January 2024, any business expenditure. So this was one of the ruling for the Finance Act 2023, that and a circular that came in, that all the business expenditure that are lacking the proper support document of a valid tax invoice. So all the purchases and expenses that are not eTIMS compliant will be disallowed for tax purposes. So what happened is that all the companies from the initiation when the ETR system was not working, the ETR system had an issue because you couldn't send information to carry on real-time basis. There was issues of fraud, invalid invoices, and so many inconsistencies. If you remember, there was the VAT inconsistency. And so many things were happening with how we were doing our sales. So KRA designed a way to be able to have that invoicing being sent to them on real-time basis, and that is where Teams, the Teams system came in, and it was supposed to solve those inconsistency and the issues that were around that place. So every business, first they graduated all the VAT businesses to be on the Teams, and then the eTIMS was developed as a software. And the differences, and I'm going to share the differences as we come along, and I show you how eTIMS is also monitoring your sales and is also monitoring your stock. So I'll share those details. But now every business, there was also a circular that every business has to be on eTIMS platform. And also that was enhanced by KRA giving this circular that all business expenditure had to have electronic invoice. So meaning that when you're buying, not just selling, because first we all went to the sales that we're now selling with eTIMS. But now it's stated that when you're buying your supplies or or you're paying for your expenses, you need to have a receipt that it is compliant. If you don't have that, then this time when we are filing our returns, all those purchases, all those expenses will be disallowed. I'm going to explain further. Penalty for non-compliant is 1 million. So we're also having the Finance Bill 2024 proposing it to 2 million, possibly to make sure that the eTIMS is followed properly. Exemptions from eTIMS invoice, mostly emoluments. These are salaries, bonuses, so casual wages. So that money that you're paying somebody for they're working, the employees, it is exempted from eTIMS. Also, imports at the point of entry, investment allowances, interest, air passenger ticketing. So these are some of them, but for a business, mostly the salaries, the wages, those bonuses are exempted from eTIMS. But the rest, if you're buying fuel, get an eTIMS invoice. If you're buying your supplies, if you're paying Mama Mboga, and we had also a proposal that 1 million businesses below 1 million will be exempted from eTIMS. So it also poses a challenge because if we have to exempt those small businesses, then what about our business expenditure? Because you're going to buy from that Mama Mboga. Does it mean that some of our expenses will be allowed to have not to be eTIMS compliant, whereas the others will be? So it's also a hard nut. So what are some of the solutions for eTIMS? What are some of the solutions? And I don't know which one you're using. I'll ask you, so I'll explain, and then I'll ask the eTIMS. Last year, but one, I was asking, have you onboarded eTIMS? Now I know the majority of us have onboarded eTIMS. So which solution are you using? eTIMS Lite, this is USSD code, is the mobile phone-based solution that allows you to do the invoice. So you use your phone, doesn't require internet. You do *222#. And this system, by the way, for past 3 weeks was not functioning, but I guess right now it's working. So it is very simple to just, I don't know if I put that, I think I did not put that process, but I'm hoping right now you can be able to follow. So it's very simple for you to do it. You register with your ID within a minute, and then the next minute you get an invoice, you download it. It's very, very simple. eTIMS Lite Web is a simplified online system for business with minimal transactions, especially those registered with individual pins. So some of these eTIMS Lite is for individual pins and also the web. So this you can use your eCitizen to do this. You can go to a cyber and be able to be helped to create an eTIMS invoice. It is also very easy to do it. eTIMS Portal is an eTIMS solution designed for businesses in the service sector mostly, especially those who don't supply goods. For example, a consultant, salon, tour operator. This eTIMS Portal, and I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to do a bit of a demonstration on the eTIMS Portal. So this is why you go, you Google KRA, you find the eTIMS Portal, and then you register. There's a registration process, and then how to use it. I'm going to share how to use the eTIMS Portal. We also have eTIMS Client. This is where you download it. This software installed on laptop, desktop, so you can download the eTIMS client on your laptop and use it. I'm still going to demonstrate a bit about this. And also eTIMS client, you can buy. I didn't have one here, by the way. We should, I should have come with a bottle, but I know you're using the one that you buy. So you can also, the eTIMS Lite, you can also buy the machine. The machine is costing about 25 to 30,000. So you can also buy the machine and have it. It works as a smartphone. It has that icon, like an app on that machine, and then I'm going to show you how you operate it. So we also have online sales control unit. This is a system-to-system integration solution that is ideal for taxpayers using online invoicing system. eTIMS client can be used with people who have relatively a lot of sales. So if you buy the machine, you're just using it every day. If you have it on laptop, you're using it every day. But also the online sales control unit is a system. So you're having an ERP, you're having your QuickBooks, your Sage, your Pastel, your tailor-made solution. You integrate it with eTIMS. And there's a cost for integration. So there are companies, you go to KRA portal, there are companies who are doing the integration. By the way, the cheapest I've seen is about 50,000. And this is where we should raise our placards and say eTIMS should be free. So for the people who want to integrate eTIMS to their system, that you don't have to have double work, because this is a point of sale. So if you have it here, I'm going to show you how it's operating, even for somebody who is doing eTIMS client. If you're having your QuickBooks, you generate an invoice. If you now have to go to the machine, you're doing double work. You have to select the item, the customer, the code. It's like you're doing double work. It's not the previous ETL where you just go in, key the amount. Possibly the customer bought goods worth 100,000. You go to the ETL, you just say 100,000, then 16%, then you staple off with the QuickBooks invoice. No. So this one has a lot of work. So it's like you're doing double work. So for people who don't want to do double work, they are doing the system-to-system integration, and it has a cost. So depending on the software you're using, actually the software, the integrators ask you, which system are you using? So depending with the system, depending on the point of sale. So if you go to a supermarket, you find they have like 5 points of sale, they have branches. So they want like to integrate like 50 laptops. Then the integrator does their calculation and they come with a cost 300,000, 400,000, 500, 1 million. So for me, this is something that if public participation will be done, I would think eTIMS should be totally free so that we can be able to use it correctly. And when you also integrate, there's a cost. There's a cost per year. So the integrators will tell you there's a cost per per year for them to do a renewal. So also we have the virtual sales control unit is a system-to-system integration solution that is ideal for taxpayers using both online and offline system invoicing system. So you may have an invoicing system that is online, like it's real time. You're using QuickBooks Online in 3 different points, sales points, and all of them are working online, but you're also having a system that is offline, so you can still integrate. So the integrator will ask you for, there's a form. If you want to do the integration, there's a form you have to fill in on what kind of a system you're using and what is there. So are we ready now to go to eTIMS and see how it's operating? So I'm having a full team that is ready to answer your questions. So if you're having a burning question, you ask and someone is right there to answer your questions. I'll also get to a point to answer all your questions. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. So let's go to eTIMS. I don't know, possibly I ask a question. Which eTIMS are you using? Possibly in my chat, tell me which one you're using among the 6. I guess I've explained about 6 of them. Just tell me on the chat, which one are you using? Let me see. Let me see on the chat. Let me see on the chat. Okay. None, a consultant. I'm using web-based, okay. eTIMS online. Okay, sawa. That's okay. So I'm going to look at 2 of them, and I'm going to demonstrate a bit. So navigating eTIMS. So this is eTIMS client. So the client is the one that you download on your laptop or the machine that you buy. So upon successful, so you have to register, and there's a way they send you a code, then you revert back. So it's a process for registration and some documentation. So upon successful eTIMS application and installation, log in to the user grid. So you use your password to log in and you come here. So I told you today is a practical class, and I'm going to share the notes with you. Item management. So first you have to feed the items that you're selling. So we go to the items management, and then when we go to the item management, this is what we find. So we want to key in the items. So provide the required information in the, so this is how the portal opens up, and there are so many details, and this is a place where I'd want you to know, to see how the eTIMS is operating, also monitoring your stock. So that you have to sell when you, I hope you can see my cursor, my mouse, the new, so you have to select the item. So for us, the person who was preparing this with me, I don't know why they chose to sell Tusker, but that is the product there. So if you have a club, I guess your example for today. So the items is there. You also selected the item type. Is it a finished product? So if you can see the view, you can see there are drop downs where you're supposed to select. Is it origin? Is Kenya? You also say the unit price is 100, the beginning stock. This is where the stocks come in. So the stock is there. You can put as many all the items that are required. Of importance here is the class code. If you can see how I'm moving my. So if you select here, it's going to give you the code. You select the code for the item, for this specific item that you want to put there. So this is first installation of the stocks that you're having, items. So if you're having 1,000 items, you have to follow this process one by one. So for somebody who is having a hardware, this is where now this eTIMS requires even help. So for a customer who is registered for VAT, you're going to see here tax type 16%. So for somebody who is non-VAT, especially, so eTIMS also has the non-VAT for people who are doing individuals with the USSD. You don't have to register for VAT. So when you come to the tax type here, it's going to say non-VAT. So this is the entire process. So for each item, if you're a club like this one and you're selling Tasca, the other ones, all of them, you feed them here. So let's go to the next one. So after clicking, after you do that, you do the new to auto-generate the item code, then click save. So when you do that, you're going to touch here the item code, and that item, that tasker will be given a code. A code will generate automatically for that product. So you're going to have that code there, and that is the code for that item. So you can see the information that was already on the system. This is the information that you already saved. So in this particular point, this is why now you get the item code. And after getting the item code, you save. So there is a save here. And after saving, now you do all the other items. This is one time. This is a one-time engagement. So you feed all your items there. And this is where we also come in, because we also train you, we help you input the data. So some of you, I know it's very complex. So this is where our works come in, to just help you to be able to align it properly and be able to use it. So let's go. So we are done with the items. So let's come to the customer. So some of you have customers that you're selling to every single day. Sometimes you have a new customer, but now this is now the entry of the customer. So this customer management. So you click the customer management, then you come here and write their PIN number, the name of the customer. It's not necessarily you write the bank, but is the person a Kenyan? You can write your phone numbers, or you can, but of importance here is the PIN number and the name of the customer and the origin. So then you save. So you have your customer list. Now you're having your item list, you're also having your customer list. If somebody came in new, you can still do that within a minute and add them as a customer. So let's now sell. We want to create an invoice. So how do you create an invoice? You go to the sales management, and remember we are using eTIMS client. So this is the eTIMS that you download, is the eTIMS machine that you buy. So the sales management, you get to the sales and you say new. To create an invoice, click yes for the prompt that appears. So you say new, and then it's going to give you at this particular point where you're supposed to have the customer. You're going to select the customer. That remember our customers that we had input. So you're going to select the customer. You're also going to select the item code. Remember, you're having items. You're having, let me give another example. You're in a hardware, you're having cement. So you have going to be having a code for cement. So you select the cement, and you're also going to indicate the unit price. The quantity is a must. So the tax type, if it's 16%, you just be automatic. And then when you also do the item, you also create, if this customer is buying more than 3, 4, 5, you have to select each and every item. And this is where the stock management part comes in, because every time you select something, it is moving out of your stock. So I'm going to share with you the implication for that. So after you do that, you come and say confirm at this particular point. So it's going to say here the customer ID, the customer that we had input, their number, and then the items, the item code, and then you say confirm. Provide the quantity being supplied, then click confirm. Okay, no problem. So the customer, we had now the item that we had created. It was Tasker class code. There was there. If you saw the first time when we were creating this, and then it was beer, and then the unit price, the quantity, 16%, and then we confirm. Okay. So we are not yet done. It is waiting for approval. It is waiting for approval. So at this particular point, you can give this customer a pro forma invoice. But if you want to give them an invoice, you have to go and approve. So wait for approval, you select, and then you go to the next one, you approve. Click the approve button, confirm a yes. It's going to bring in a yes, and then you just approve, and then the yes, you select the yes. And then you're going to print the receipt. Before you print the receipt, you have to describe the mode in which they're going to receive the payment. So this is just, it is put there so you can select cash, credit, mobile money. You can just select anything and then you close. And then for the printing, you can print either the Damo, the print receipt, or you can print it as A4, depending on the particular system that you're having or the printer that you're having. So it's a quite a process, especially when it comes to setting up the eTIMS client. But I think the moment you're able to learn it and be able to use it, it becomes easy. So I think for entrepreneurs, I don't know if we have entrepreneurs here. Sometimes when we are training them, they're like, it's too much. It's too much work. Even generating an invoice is a headache. But for me, I think if you're positive about it, because at the end of the day, that eTIMS is required for your business to function. So you can be positive about it and learn it and be able to use it. So the problem of eTIMS, before I come to create a credit note, is this particular point where you have to say what you're selling and the quantities. And I've mentioned here before in the previous webinars, if you're selling something like, let me just use this example given to me about a club, and you're buying beer. Most of the time, and I'm going to show you how you do purchases. Most of the time when we are buying, we buy very well with the eTIMS, and this data, we key in the purchases data very, very well. And the purchases described, you bought Tasker, this, how many, this one and this one. But at the end of, when you're selling on this side, you don't sell with eTIMS. So at the end of the year, eTIMS is going to tell you, you have bought beer worth this much, and you've sold worth this much. So you either did not declare, or you have these items in your stock. So we're going to get a lot of audit on our stock. So for me, I foresee that KRA will get to a point where they would want to come and even count our stocks. So for you who is doing a lot of purchases, all your purchases are perfect and you're using eTIMS to get all your purchases. But when it comes to your sell, you're using 50% or 30%, the rest you're selling cash. Then this is the game changer, because these things will not align at one particular point and an audit will happen. So that is something that I would want you to be really careful, because previously we did not even describe what we were selling. So when the customer comes, you just key 100,000 and they leave. Nobody would even tell if you sold or you did not sell. But now there's a system here that is set to monitor that. So be careful, especially when you're handling eTIMS. So let me talk about when you want to raise a credit note. So you have made a mistake or there's something that has happened and you want to get a credit note on that invoice. So this is what you're going to do. So you're going to get to click the details. So you can see here the approved. This is the invoice that you have created and it was approved. So you're going to click and get the details. And then we come here. Excuse me. We are going to cancel the request button to confirm by selecting a yes. So when you say cancel, it's going to prompt a yes, and then you click the yes. So you can see the details of the invoice that we have created. We had created, this is the invoice that we want to cancel. So you can see there. Then you come here, the cancel requests, it is there. You're going to see the canceled request there. Select the transaction again, then click the details. You click the detail, these details here. And then you're going to click the credit note. So you can see the credit note here is going to prompt a yes. Then you're going to confirm. So it's also going to prompt the payment for the reversal. This is just something set there, so you have to select either way. And then after selecting, you can print the credit note. So you can print it in any form. So it is as simple as that. And these credit notes, you can view them. You can view all of them on the system. And also credit note, remember this is a system that is getting to carry on real-time basis. So they can also raise queries on those credit notes. So you cannot come and be issuing invoices, then you cancel, then you issue, you cancel. Those will be audit triggers. So be careful when you're operating so that you also minimize some of those credit notes. So how about your purchases? So how about the purchases? Does your eTIMS, can you use the eTIMS on your purchases? So these are purchases that you're buying from somebody, and that person is using eTIMS on their side when they are giving you this invoice. So how do you manage? So we have a purchases management system on eTIMS, and you can also check the validity of that purchases invoice with your eTIMS now. So you go to the purchases management, and then it's going to look at that. It's going to tell you waiting for approval, how many are waiting for approval. So you can even check when somebody gives you an invoice and they tell you that they done the eTIMS. And remember, for it to come here, you've provided details of the buyer. So you are the buyer, them they are the seller. So you provided your PIN number so that they can use it, so that you can see it here. So you're not going to see a supermarket receipt if you did not give them your PIN. And if you want to use that one and you have it here, give the supermarket your PIN number. So you're going to see waiting for approval there, and then you're going to select that. Then you're going to see the receipt there. So waiting for approval, Zen customer, it has the Zen customer there, you can see. And then the details, you're going to click the details there, and you're going to accept. So you're going to accept. that purchase is your purchase. So the moment you accept, of course, you're going to check the nitty-gritties of what you are buying, and you're going to see it there. So what were you buying? And you're going to be having it there. If it is correct, you can say accept, and then it's going to prompt a yes, and you say a yes. I hope class Yongumu. I guess I'm going to ask a question after I finalize on the eTIMS. I'm hoping that you're getting a bit of some learning. I'm going to share the notes with you, of course. So how do you adjust for stocks? So remember, by the way, when you do the purchase, this one, when you do the purchase management, whatever you had purchased, look, if you had purchased, for instance, here beer, the quantity is going to be adjusted to the stock automatically. So that's how efficient the system is. So the moment you accept that purchase, it's going to automatically go to the stocks. But how do you also adjust the stocks? So you can adjust the stocks either way, upward or downward. Downward could be there are losses, there was theft, there was spoilage. You can adjust this downward. Upward could mean there was a process that you did. If it is raw material, I don't know what, there was something that you had done, so that you need to do some adjustment on the stocks. So then select the specific line item you want to click adjust, so adjust there. So you can say adjust, and then it's going to come with the item. So you can select the item code of what you want to adjust, and then you come here. So you come here to say adjust. You can see the adjust quantity. So here is 10. You want to adjust to 20, 30. And then you're going to say the adjust type. If you see where I'm touching, you can see the adjustment there. Purchase of new stock. So the reason you have to cite the reason. And I'm very sure they're asking, why are you purchasing new stock, which is not eTIMS compliant? Remember, I've said if it is eTIMS compliant, it should come automatically to your stocks. So understand the reasons properly before you incorporate. I'm thinking, because this is eTIMS is what we've been using, especially for this year. There's been a push for us to use eTIMS, and some of us are using it without a lot of understanding. What I foresee come next year, there will be a lot of audits on how we've been using our eTIMS. So eTIMS is a data harnessing kind of a system that is harnessing data about your company. So be extremely careful on how you're using it, because most of the audit queries will now be coming from how you've been using your eTIMS. And by the way, our Kenyan system of filing of everything is self-assessment. You sit down, you raise an invoice on eTIMS, you yourself. So you cannot come and say, oh, how I adjusted the stocks, it was not correct. No, it is self-assessment. So you cannot say, I did not know, no. And that is one of the key things that you should be able to understand. So when you're doing something, whether it's a raising invoice adjustment, anything, even if it is iTax, you have to be extremely careful with the data and the information that you provide, because that information can turn back to you. I guess I'm done with the adjustment. So when you adjust and then you say save. So you cannot sell beer and you don't have it in stock. You cannot sell anything and you don't have it in stock. So it is a system that is quite efficient. If it is used properly, it is going to push our compliance to the next level. So can we talk about eTIMS portal? So that was the eTIMS client. So let me talk about eTIMS portal. So the portal is where you go to log into the KRA. The KRA website has the eTIMS taxpayers portal. So you can go there and register. And this portal is very efficient for service providers. So for service provider, this is the other one I talked about was for stocks and everything. For service provider, the eTIMS taxpayers portal works best for you. So if you have registered, this is how it looks like. So there's a registration process. Let me go direct to how you search the items. How do you put your services on the portal? Because first you have to key in the services that you're offering in the portal before you even raise an invoice. So come to the item management. Looks a bit the same, but also different. Possibly what is the same is the color and the logo. So item management, there you search for the item classification, as you can see my pointer. When you go to that, you can see the item management there. You search the UNSPSC, that one. You want to search for the item classification. You want to classify that item. And these items that you're offering as services, they are in thousands, I guess over 5,000, so many thousands. So you have to select as, and KRA has provided those codes. So the coding is provided by them. So it is you to select what you're doing. So for you to be able to select properly, because you cannot run it, there are so many, a lot of data, you have to key in here the category name. So for us, I will say audit. So under audit is going to give you this, all this. So audit, you have to select which one you want. So if you say audit services, you can see the code 841111600. You can see that code there. So with this, you're going to write this code somewhere. So you now understood the code of what you want to be doing, or the service that you're offering. So you go to the search, register. Now register the item. The first one was searching the item code. So now after understand, and you can search. So for us, we have tax services, audit, bookkeeping, advisory, financial management, all of them. You can search all the codes. And then after that, you come now to register the item. So search register item. For the search register item, you come to the where my pointer is, and then you come here and register. So you write the item code there, click the register button to add the item, sorry. So select the register, where my pointer is. And now when you come here, register the item. So remember our code, the 844 something, it was for internal audits. So when you say the code, it's going to show you what is type of the internal audit is, what you're doing. So is a service, Kenya, 16%. I don't know why they want to say the basic unit price. Yeah, and then you save. So we are saving the items first. So you can do a repetition of that for all the items that you have. So the registered items appear as below. So you're going to have, so when you come to select the class code, you'll be having all your items down here. So let's now create a sales receipt. We have incorporated the items, the services that we offer. Let's do a sales receipt. So you're going to select the sales receipt, which under transaction management, to make a sale. So transaction management sales receipt. And then you're going to select, you're going to add the service that you want to do. So this is how you're going to do the buyer's pin right there. You can write your mobile number, that the payment type it's cash, or there's a drop down you can choose. And then the item, you remember our items: internal audit, quantity, unit price, there is a discount, total item price, taxable price. You have to incorporate all that data. Then you say save. After saving, you have it there. So it will come the same way. If you remember the other one, there was somewhere it was coming to say approval. So you select receipt number, the one, this one. When you select one, you're going to have it here. Pro forma invoice will be displayed on the receipt to download. So you can download it as a receipt. And you can have it here. So you can download it as a pro forma invoice, but if you want it as a receipt, as an invoice, you just click the receipt and then you download it as a receipt. So if you want to raise a credit note, if you feel like you had done a mistake, you want to raise a credit note, now you come to the invoice number, this one, the one there, and you select it. When you choose it, it's going to come to this point. You look at the details of the invoice, and then you're going to do a credit note on my pointer, and you have to provide the reasons. And there's a drop down, so you just look and select the reason why you want to create a credit note, and then the credit note will be raised successfully. So remember, I've said that anything that you do with the eTIMS machine and the eTIMS software, it is getting them on real-time basis. And remember, sometimes you don't have data for you to incorporate some bundles for the data to go to KRA. It requires very small bundles for it to finalize the process. And if you don't finalize the process, that data gets to KRA. If you give somebody that invoice, they are not going to see that invoice. So I hope that one I'm clear. So you have to complete the entire process for somebody who you've given, someone will call you and tell you, we can't see, we are trying to see the invoice. I'm going to show you even how you look at the validity of that invoice on iTax. So they cannot see until the process is fully complete, until that data gets to KRA portal or their systems. So that is what I had for eTIMS. I know it was quite a lot. I couldn't be able to explain so many other things beyond that. So if you felt it was too much, this is something that you can also outsource. So it's something that you can also outsource and learn. So for us, we help you with registrations, we train you, we do stock take, we incorporate the stock. So for us is something that we do every day. So that's what I had for eTIMS. If you have an eTIMS question, let me see on the chat. I see if I can be able to answer. I can see so many of you have been answered for by the team. So let me just see a question before I come to iTax. Should a business registered business enroll for eTIMS? Yes. It is a requirement that all businesses be registered for eTIMS. There's a proposal by the president. This happened this week, that businesses below $1 million turnover per year should not register for eTIMS, but it has to be a circular. So at the moment, let's remain there. What about company purchases? I explained about the purchases on the eTIMS, how you register for the purchases. So, okay. So how you approve for those purchases on the eTIMS portal is similar to what I explained for eTIMS client. But also remember, eTIMS is helping with the auto-population of VAT return. So it's also helping on that. So the effectiveness of eTIMS is also prompting the auto-population of the VAT return. Is farming required too? So Martin, this is what I would share. Depending on what you're selling. Okay, someone says some purchases appears on eTIMS and others not. Yes, for sure. There are places where they appear and others they don't appear. So I don't know which one you're using. Yeah, there are spaces where some purchases don't appear. But you can check the validity of that invoice, that purchases invoice on iTax. I'm going to show you. For farmers, this is what I was saying. What is your product and where are you selling your product? Are you selling your product in the market that does not require an eTIMS? Because one of the reasons why we are having the 1 million, below 1 million, was to cover for farmers, for the small businesses and for farmers. So wherever you're selling your product, you might not want to incorporate eTIMS. But remember, if you're selling your product to a company and that company wants an eTIMS invoice for you to make that transaction, then you have to register. So it depends on where you're doing. How can one give a discount on eTIMS? It was there. I'm going to come back to that, and you're going to see a discount. There was a space for discount. Okay, how do you navigate a scenario where you buy in bulk and sell in small quantities to non-registered customers? Okay, so to non-registered customers, you want to sell. So I believe there is also, you're selling to non-registered. It's not also a must that you incorporate their PIN number, so you can still sell to non-registered customers. The same way supermarket sells, they are using eTIMS and they don't ask us for PIN. If you're not registered, do you still have to register for eTIMS? Yes, you have to register for eTIMS, even the USSD. It will take you like a minute to register. How do you know that VAT have been submitted? How do I know that VAT have been submitted to KRA? Okay, Nancy. Okay, VAT. How? So if you're in iTax, you can see the payment registration. If you're if you got a purchase invoice, I'm going to show you how you check validity. So if you're in access of your system, you can be able. I'm not registered for VAT. Must I register for eTIMS? Yes. Even the eTIMS also has non-VAT. So you don't have to have VAT for you to register for eTIMS. So depending on the business that you're doing, and somebody, for instance, you're doing what? You're doing audit. You're not on the VAT threshold of 5 million, so you're not registered for VAT. But somebody is telling you, for you to do audit for us, you have to give us an eTIMS invoice. You can register for non-VAT and be able to generate an eTIMS invoice. The person who is getting the eTIMS invoice, the company, they want an eTIMS invoice. They don't care if you're VATable or you're non-VAT. For them, they want an eTIMS invoice. For service for non-VAT, can one work with many devices? Yes. So you want to go this today, you do the USSD, the other one, the next day you do the portal, the other one you go on eCitizen. Okay. I guess it's very complex. Why don't you just stick to one? We say that the imported goods are exempted from eTIMS. But when you're filing for VAT, the VAT has the purchases section for imports. So the VAT that you pay at the port for your imports, there's a section when you're filing for your VAT to incorporate the purchases for your imports. Proposal, yes, the VAT threshold is pushed to 8 million, so it's a proposal, and I love it, so I hope it goes through. Do you have to file VAT on iTax if you have eTIMS? No. If you're VAT registered and you're using eTIMS, you have to file. If you're having eTIMS and you're non-VAT, you don't have to file. So this is now where that at the end of the year, you remember you've been doing eTIMS. You're just giving out eTIMS invoice, but you're not registered for VAT. So you don't have to file the VAT return. At the end of the year, next year, you cannot tell KRA that you cannot do a new return. So this is also where eTIMS is coming in. And this is where the biggest portion of the issues will come in. So you've been doing eTIMS. So somebody comes and tells you, oh, for you to do these supplies, give me an invoice, an eTIMS invoice. And Regina told you you can do the USSD code, and you just do it and generate an invoice. Come next year, you will not do a new return. You're going to recognize that income. After recognizing that income, you're also going to have purchases, and then you're going to file for the corporation tax, whether individually or as a company. And this is where I think this is where the biggest problems comes in, and this is where you need to be really careful. And this was one of the issues where farmers said, yes, we will be using this, but what happens next year? What happens after I do this? After I do all this? So there will be a lot, and this is where I say there will be a lot of audit come the first year of using eTIMS, because they will come look at your stock, they will look at your sales, they will look at, you filed a new return, yet you had done some eTIMS sales. So be careful on that. Can I do VAT declaration on eTIMS, or eTIMS simply generate invoice and receipt? Okay. Okay, Nene, let me try to understand where, Okay, so I can see someone is asking about the hospital. Will hospital require to register for eTIMS? Yes. Particularly, we have integrated hospitals asking about integration and eTIMS, because also for them is a requirement. Most of the hospitals are paid by insurance, NHIF and other insurance companies. So the insurance companies is demanding eTIMS invoices for them to pay them. So I've seen hospitals being able to incorporating eTIMS on their in their sales, and even schools. So right now, every business has been incorporating eTIMS. So I guess I can pick one more. Let me just check one more. The rest, my co-host, kindly answer them as I navigate to iTax. On the threshold of 1 million and below, kindly clarify. Okay, I paraphrase. Can I file VAT on eTIMS, or simply it's done on iTax? No, the eTIMS you're raising invoices. eTIMS you're raising invoices only. You're selling with it. You have to come back and do a VAT return. Yes. So you have to come back and do a VAT return. So for hotels, hotels, the hotel is vatable. For hospitals, their services are exempted. So the eTIMS has all those categories: VAT exempt, zero rated, and now the non-VAT. So it has all those categories. Depending on the business that you're doing, you're going to select for that. Yes. Can I add for VAT obligation to this existing PIN after I attend? Yes. So with eTIMS, actually, after using eTIMS non-VAT, is when you hit now the threshold of 5 million. Let's, for instance, say the bill passes the 8 million. When you hit the threshold of 8 million, the system is automatically supposed to push you to the VAT criteria. So that is also one of the places where eTIMS will also be effective. A company doing tendering for goods, yes, any business, especially for if you're tendering, all those companies, they will ask you for those eTIMS invoices. And okay. So with that, I continue with the conversation. I love the questions. I love the questions, and my the other trainers can help me answer. Because of the time, I'll come back to the question. Let me navigate to iTax. I just show you a few items because we also needed to learn a bit of iTax, if you allow me. And for this one, if you have the PIN and the password, we're going to open together. So you have yours, and we're going to open. So I'm going to share. So continue with the conversation, and so I hope you can see my screen. If you can see it, you can tell me. I'm going to the iTax portal. So if you can see it, you can say a yes. Just do a few checks. And it is very important. I don't know how many of us here are entrepreneurs. It is very important for you as an entrepreneur to understand how iTax works, so that somebody does not take advantage of you not knowing. I think it's very important so that you can monitor what is happening. Okay, the portal is taking centuries to open. Okay. So, okay, I can see a yes. I can see a yes. Thank you. So my co-host can share my co-host, you can share the link to register. So when you register, we're going to share the notes with you. And okay, just a minute. So I'm going to key in the PIN number. Before I key in the PIN number, I hope you can see the portal. Let me just show you what you're supposed to be doing with the portal right here. So you can see the unit, the invoice. You can do a PIN checker. So if somebody sends you a PIN, you can do a PIN checker here, and you can type the PIN in it will give you the details of that PIN. So it is very, very important. A PIN checker. If you have a TCC, tax compliance, you can check the validity of that tax compliance. You can click it here, and exemption certificate, excise license, you can do a checker here. If you have a withholding certificate, you can do a checker here. We also now, when it comes to the eTIMS, you do the control unit checker here. I guess I did not show you the invoice, the eTIMS invoice, but I know now you've seen it. So it has a control unit checker number somewhere, so you can check it here. And after you check it there, you can also we also have the invoice number checker. You can also check, so you can check the validity of that invoice by checking on those areas. So for the one who said that my purchase, your eTIMS doesn't have the purchase management unit, you can check the validity of that invoice on the portal. So before you pay anything, especially your suppliers, just check. It's very important, because calling them at the end of the month, when the month is over and you're doing out of population and you cannot see their invoice, that is the time you're calling them, and the month is already over, and then you're telling them issue a credit note. Then no, it's a long process. Just check before you do a payment. So you can use your PIN number to just open. So for me, let me just open. I will just take you through just right now. And it has a calculation here. So you can tell me it's 109. I'm hoping so. So sometimes when it's June 30th, the system is still working. So I hope you have filed your return. I don't know, I'll ask that question. Have you filed your company return? So when it comes to June 27, 28, 30, some people say that calculation there changes, and then it is written XYZ multiplied by what? I think it's just a lie. So make sure that you also file before the system is having downtime. So what do we check? So I already showed you how to do the PIN verification, PIN checker, invoice verification, invoice checker. We have done that. That one you do without opening the portal. We have logged in, register for a tax obligation. So when you want to register for a tax obligation, you come to registration. So if you touch the registration right there, is going to give you so many things. You can even print a PIN certificate. For them says that I need a PIN certificate, you print it from there. If you want to do a dormancy cancellation of something, it is there. If you want to register a tax representative like us, you can do it there. If you want to cancel, you can do it there. So, I mean, this is when we want to register for that something, we say amend PIN details. So amend PIN details. And then you're going to select right here, what do you want? So we're going to do the online form, and then we're going to say next. Of course, it auto-populates the data automatically about the company. And then you're going to give here. So you're going to share what do you want to amend. So basic information, directors. So For instance, let's say obligation details. We want to add an obligation. So this one is registered for income tax. They are registered for VAT. So you want to register for pay. You select there. You want to do for rental. You also select there. So some of these things require approval. So you're gonna wait a bit to be approved by KRA. Even right now, approving for VAT is a process. Previously, we could even get it approved in the cyber, and there were so many issues. So it is as simple as that. If you want to file a return, let me do a VAT because of the auto population. So we come to the returns. And for the returns, you can file return, you can file an amended return, you can view. Let's view. Let's first view. And you can just open your portal and just learn, just walk through, just learn. Sometimes you don't have to select anything here. You just say consult. Do you want to view? Okay. And it will just give us. So it will give us, it's giving us here the different items. So they can see that the return have been filed April, and we can see even the date it is filed. So 17th, 20th, unimtu late hours, 19th, 15th, and we can see all and then you can even come and view. If you want to view the specific details, you can actually view. So that is viewing. And if you're given a third party to do this for you, so this is why you also check if they are doing the correct thing and they were able to file the correct thing. That is why you check. So let's see file return. Let's see if you can be able to auto-populate. Remember, yesterday was 20th. So I'm very sure that the VAT has been done. So let's see what is going to prompt us to do. Okay, so it's saying here return for the period can be filed after. Okay, so it is prompting for June. It is saying we file after that year. So okay, so it means the May one was done. Okay, but we can be able to view what I wanted. So if you come here, down here, you can see here, I hope you can see my pointer, download auto-populated VAT return. That is what I wanted you to see. Let's see. Let's just see if it is going to auto-populate. The auto-population, okay, do you want to download the form for amendment? Okay, so let's say just okay. Let's just see what is going to give us. Please enter return period form, okay? So even if you want to do an amendment, you can still do. You can still do. So let me select from 1st to 30th. Let's do the auto population again. Okay. And then after you come back, you have to agree with the terms and conditions here. So for this one, it is not on my notes. So this one is the class that you learn. It's, oh my goodness, what is happening? Okay. Okay, so this one you go save. It is prompting me to move from this section. So I guess let me just stop it from there. So you go save, and we've done auto population in the so many, actually the whole of this year I've taught about auto population, how you go save the data, you counter check the purchases, counter check the sales. If they're okay, you import the data back to the system, and then you filed and then validate. So I've taught about the auto population of the VAT return, and I hope that you're able to do it properly. So let's stop it at that particular point. Let's check something different. So if you want to do a payment, you can come here. And if you want to know that if you have arrears, if you have tax arrears, now amnesty is coming to an end by 30th. So I hope some of us have been able to enjoy the amnesty. If not yet, you can check. Some of you don't even know if you have arrears and penalties. So nasikia to amnesty, like, what is that? So you can come here and check if you have tax arrears. So payment registration. So after that, you can select proceed. Let's select and see, does the customer, do you have arrears? Okay. So I don't know if it is my internet or it is the portal that is taking centuries to open. So let me download. It's supposed to download the PIN, okay, yes. So that's how it should look like. So at this particular point is where you select the tax head. So you want to look for income tax. So if you're registered for income tax, that is something that all of us, most companies are registered for that. So income tax, subhead, they are all this. We can self-assessment. They say no liability found on the tax obligation, okay. So let's select something different. So income tax has all these, capital gain, withholding. Let me select another one. He had a VAT. So let's look at the VAT section. VAT is VAT number 1 there. So payment is self-assessment. Okay. Okay. So let's do self-assessment. Sometimes you may find somebody has additional assessment. Oh, okay. So this one should even go for the amnesty. December 2022. So some money that they were supposed to pay. So it is right there. You can see it, and you can see the penalties and interest. So if they are if they pay the 257, they can be exempted from paying the 25 and the 46, and also this one, the 10,000. So you can check so that you can see if you're valid for, and it's only 10 days to do this. Less than 10 days to actually do this. So we can also do at the additional assessment. Does they have an additional assessment? Okay, okay. I don't know if they are registered. They were not registered for VAT, for pay. So I hope you've been able to see that. So that is something that you can generally do. So when you now want to do a payment, it's simple. You just come down here and select the mode of payment here and then submit. And then you're going to get an e-slip. It's as simple as that. So there are so many. You can just come and see assessment, objection, application. So if you have an additional assessment, when you're doing objection, this is where we apply for the objection. For refunds, for companies that are doing, especially the one that we help do refunds, especially exporters, we come here and we select for refunds, VAT, income tax, anything, we just request for the refund. And then there's a process, of course, to follow for the refund to happen. Certifications. So this is where you print the holding certificate. Somebody has withheld on your behalf or has given you a certificate. You can print it here. You can apply for a TCC here. So let's apply for a TCC. So I have selected for application for TCC. Let's see what it provides us. So it's giving me a prompt. Please note that you cannot apply for TCC, that is a tax compliance certificate, as you have pending returns, payment to be filed or liability to be paid. Okay. So they cannot receive a TCC until they pay for that, that money. So if you pay for all your obligations, it's a click of a button to get a tax compliance. Consultant reprint a TCC. So if you have a previous TCC, tax compliance, and you don't know where it is, so you can't find the certificate, you can come to the portal and print. So this is where you consult and print TCC. So let's just consult and see if they have a valid TCC. Let's just see. Oh, okay, so it gives me this data. So they have an expired status expired. It expired January 2024. So it's already expired. So if yours is not expired, you're going to see here, and then you're going to come here. This will be open for printing, to open here for printing. So let's also see what else. So reprint VAT withholding certificate, reprint rental income apply. So there's so many things that you can be able to check right here, and you can just select and choose. So we under the amnesty, we have the iTax amnesty application. So let me see if I'm following the procedure of what I was supposed to train you. Generate tax compliance, viewing the ledger. Okay, we can view. Let me do the iTax amnesty, then we view the ledger. So we can view the ledger. We can do the amnesty. So for this client, because he has a debt, so they can be able to come here and select the tax obligation. It was VAT. It was VAT is the one who had the amount. You can see it is bringing the amount there, so you can apply for the amnesty at this particular point. Previously, it will give us the number of months. So you could even do a payment plan for this money. You could even do a payment plan 3 months, and then as you pay, the amnesty comes in. For you who have paid, so you have only penalties and interest, you can select all of them and then pay 1 shillings, one bob. That's how we are doing it, and then you get the amnesty. If you are unable to understand the whole process, you can also call us. Also, my co-host, you can book a free calendar. We also do consultation free of charge. So you can book a calendar booking for a free consultation, and then we're going to help you on some of these things. So let's view the ledger. So you come here at this particular point, ledger, and then you're going to view. Okay. Okay. So, general ledger, you can go to general ledger and let's see what happens, what is inside there. So this is what we are having. You can come, you can even not choose anything, and you just come here, show the ledger. Oh, please select. Okay, let me go back. It's saying that we select the type, taxpayer's main account. Let me just say that. Let's see. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let me just come here. General ledger report. Let's try the general ledger report. It's having so many requirements. Let's see. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so show the ledger. Let's see. Please select the subhead. Okay. Let's do a subhead. Let's do VAT. Ledger. So this is where sometimes you find that there are some things that KRA will tell you, or there are some payments that you cannot. So this is where you see payments. So this is where you see payments. And so for somebody who is very active, especially when you find VAT, so you find 50,000, you pay for it. So it's sometimes for some customers, it is very, very long. So you can be able to see the amounts and everything. And at the end of the day, there is a grand total here, 1.7. So let me see credits. Those are credits. These ones are debits. VAT, June 2023, 22. Okay. I actually think I need to analyze better and find out what is happening to this one. So for us as tax consultant, when you give us your PIN, we can be able to view so many details. We go even to this ledger and we try to make head or tail what is happening, what went wrong, or what was, especially when we are doing a tax health check. This is actually a PIN. If you're so active, a PIN and your password is enough to even give you a tax health check. So we find. So this is how you check the ledger. Let me see if you can go back. So to file there was something out of population. So filing housing levy with no payee obligation. This one is important. So remember, the affordable housing levy is supposed to be paid first by employees and the employer, and by the rental houses when you're paying your rental, and also the people who are doing turnover tax if you have a business, as in everybody. So how do you pay for it? Remember, it's an agency tax, and sometimes it is operating with, it was intertwined with the pay as you earn. But what if you don't have pay as you earn? So what do you do? So you come to the payment registration. Payment registration. Payment registration next. Let's see. Okay, let's see if I remember. Let me see. Okay. So we are doing housing levy with no payee obligation. So let's next. Yes. So I think this is the last demonstration I'm going to do, and then we are going back to the questions because of time. And on the chat, you can tell me what else you'd want to know on the chat. So it's agency revenue. So you select the agency revenue. After that, you come here to subhead. And it is here, housing levy, yes. And also we have the NITA levy. So it is there, and you can see the other ones, land law, standard levy. So it is here. You select it. And it is self-assessment for the period, which one? So the period 2024, and did I select here? And the month is the month of, let's say, May. And remember, this one is supposed to be filed, it's supposed to be filed by 9th. of the following month. So 9th, you should do the affordable housing levy, even if you don't have the pay. So this is how it looks like. So you input the money here, 5,000. Of course, you've done your calculations properly, and then you're going to select, you're going to add, and then you're going to file. It's pretty simple. Amount payable, let's add and see. You want to add the details? Okay. So yeah, when I add the details come here automatically, and then you select the mode of payment and then submit. So for them that were asking, how do I do the affordable housing levy with no payee obligation? So it's an agency tax, you payment registration, you choose the tax head, agency revenue, then housing levy, and then follow the process. It's very easy. So there was something else also that was released last month. No, this month when we are doing rental. Yesterday, by the way, rental, you're supposed to do it by 20th. So there was a place where they were saying that you have to give the details of the, I don't know, some of you were able to see that. So this client doesn't have rental, doesn't have the rental obligation. I would have showed you, but let me. So I hope, let me hear a question. Let me hear a question before I close the portal. Let me see a question before I close the portal. Kindly take me through how to file for P9 and also engage. How do you file for P9? You're totally pisha. Okay. Okay, I've done the housing levy. Okay. Uh-huh. Does KRA really do refunds? Yes, they do. We have so many companies that we apply refunds for, and they are refunded, especially exporters. Exporters are refunded for the VAT on their purchases. So that is an incentive to help companies to do more exports. So we have customers who are paid 10 million, 5 million, 20 million. Yeah. I need further assistance. So we have our number on the chat on eTIMS. Let me see what I can do one more on the portal before I go back. I want to show you something on the rental. How do I pay the 1 shillings for the iTax and get portal changes? Okay, no problem. That one I'll do. How do you reprint withholding certificate? Kindly redo the credit notes. For the credit note, I'm going to share the notes. Okay, how do you name the house? Yes, the naming of the house I'm going to show you. The effective date of the starting of affordable housing levy, January for MRI, monthly rental income, January. So if you've not been able to do the affordable housing levy on your monthly rental income, when you're doing that, if you have a rental, go back until January. Otherwise, come next year. Even if you start now, KRA is going to demand it for the past 5 months. And we, of course, with penalties and interest. And for you, it is very easy. They can see the monthly rental incomes that you're doing. So it's just that amount multiplied by the 1.5%. And remember, they are done differently. So you do the affordable on the affordable on by 9th, then you do the MRI by 20th. So you do them differently. So I'm going to demonstrate the amnesty bit. So kindly explain how to generate. It is possible. So when you are generating the eTIMS, okay, I'll come back to that, but you can raise, you don't have to raise each items for each items. So if this is a client and is buying 10 items, you just include all the 10 items that they are buying on that items. So let me demonstrate on iTax about the amnesty, and then I close it at that particular point. Where did I keep it? Okay. So for the tax amnesty, you come here, it's a payment registration. So it's under payment registration. Is under payment registration. So let me see. Okay. So the point where we checked the arrears, that is the point where you select and pay the 1 shilling. So I hope it doesn't. Okay, let's see. So next, let's see the payment registration. So let's wait for the page to download. If it takes forever, we're going to go to something else. So someone is asking how to do the housing levy on MRI. The same way, agency, the same way I've demonstrated is just the same. Payment registration, you choose the agency revenue, housing levy, same. My goodness, it's taking forever, but let me, I guess. So this is the place where when you find that the arrears, you select, instead of doing the payment, you select the penalties and interest, and then you pay 1 shillings. Possibly you book a calendar booking, and then we're going to take it further. I don't know why, and I don't want to keep you longer than I should be. And I wanted to mention something about the MRI, the changes that were happening. So I'll stop sharing. And I go back to my notes. Just allow me to do the share. So I hope you can be able to see my notes. I'm going to share all the notes with you. So I've taught navigating iTax, a bit of that. There is a registration of the monthly return. This was a property filing, monthly rental income, where when you went to file, the system prompt, dear taxpayer, kindly register the properties first to proceed with the return filing. So that was the prompt. And this is the section where you're supposed to first fill in the details. So they want to know about the building. Where is the building? So the building name, street number, country, tax, locality, the district, the number of floors, estimated units, building type. So some of you really got disoriented with this new engagement, but this was happening for the monthly rental income for me. Remember previously we were just filing. Someone would even have 10 building and there was not even asking where the property is, but now you have to answer that question before you file the monthly rental. And there are so many changes that keep happening in iTax. And that's why we do the tax trends and changes. So I felt it was important to share because we were able to see it this week. Yeah, with that, we are RWK and Associates. We always bring you this taxation training and anything about your books, bookkeeping, audit. And we are very delighted to bring the taxation masterclass back. So these are 2 weeks of practical learning on taxation, and we provide you a certificate. And that certificate, you can use it to get your CPD. You can use the certificate to get a job, even understanding. And this is why if an evening we are learning about VAT, we learn everything, even the practical filing, out of population, everything. The next day we are doing income tax, every single details about taxation. So, and it is extremely practical because this is what we do on a daily basis. So you can come register. There is a booking. So I don't know if my co-host has a booking for the masterclass. You can have it there. You can write your details and you are giving 20% discount. So we are offering it at 12,000 for 2 weeks, every evening, 10 days, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9, and then for 2 weeks. And you can just spare. If this is your interest, by the way, taxation is the next big thing, because I don't want to go beyond that point. There's in the last like a year or two, there are so many changes in tax and companies being, and I foresee that this will be a hot with the eTIMS introduction. You really need to understand taxes and the changes that are happening. So it's important. Just come and learn taxation masterclass. We'll be having bookkeeping masterclass, internal audit in the next months, but in July we have that. So if you've not done your audit, you can still do. We have a capable team that can help you file your return. You can do a booking. We can also help you on your bookkeeping. If you're having a challenge, I'm very passionate about bookkeeping, because I believe when you keep your books properly, then the tax issues become less. So I've talked so many times about bookkeeping. So we can do it on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, and of course, tax. This is where I come in. This is where I represent your company. If you're having a tax query, tax audit, representation to carry on different tax issues. If you need to go to tribunal, to ADR, this is where we take you. So Rosie is raising their hand. We also do internal audits. With all the tax issues and everything, our compliance checks is very important. So internal audits comes there. So we have a list of services that we offer, and we offer very quality services, and our team is ready. We have a team in Thika, Westlands, and we are ready to come where you are. So you can reach us on the can reach us with our number, and you can also do a booking. So let me see one more question before. Before we call it a day. So someone want to raise their hand. I don't know if my co-host you can allow. Edgar is asking if you can offer CPD certificate. We offer certificate for the paid one. The housing levy is filed by 9th. So MRI is filed by 20th. Finance Bill 2024, I've really talked about it. So today we said we don't talk about it because of time. So let's just go through the third reading, the presidential assent, and then we're going to look at the changes. So I'll discuss that next. So possibly in the first week of July, we're going to discuss it. So let's see the changes and everything, because really, really, really discussed it. So 1.5, yes, and 7.5 for rental. So that is 9%. Remember, MRI was at 10%. So it was reduced to 7.5%. Then there's an addition of 1.5%. So it's at 9%, but they are filed differently. So one bob, that is for the tax amnesty. So when somebody does not have any principal tax but has penalties due for lack of filing renewal, yes, the amnesty allows, as long as it is 20 December 2022, huko nyuma, it is allowing. So even for you as an individual, you did not even file for that nil return. You go file all of them, nil, 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 nil. Then you come to 2023. 2023 one is due by June. You file it, then you request for the amnesty. It will just provide you the amnesty, even if it was late filing or you did not even file. So I can see most of them have been answered. How do you check for purchases on eTIMS online? Okay, that one is answered. Okay, I've answered quite a lot of your questions. Please schedule some webinar on accounting receivable, payable, payroll, inventory. Thank you, Kelvin. I'm going to call you for the bookkeeping masterclass. And then we're going to pay and learn more. Yes, this is a good question, Timothy. Does somebody who has salary and rental income pay for housing levy because they have also already paid for housing levy on their salaries? Yes, you pay for both. You pay for both. So the employer pays on your behalf, and then you also pay on the rental. Yes, eTIMS, JB, eTIMS for schools. Yes, you can incorporate eTIMS. Because remember, for you to file your corporation tax, you need to have eTIMS. So the school, the learning institutions are VAT exempted. So the VAT will not be filing for VAT or paying for VAT, but you'll be using it. And then when you're purchasing, you also purchase eTIMS. You have purchases which are eTIMS compliant. How do I generate withholding on iTax if I have invoice client and need to withhold some amount? Oh my goodness. I did not do that. I did not do that demonstration, but you can on the system. So on the certificate, you're going to see somewhere to raise that withholding certificate. And it is very simple. So interact with iTax. So for me, I would say interact with iTax. It is pretty user-friendly, and you can be able to use it properly. And it's very easy to learn. So if you also need further understanding, you can come for a day and we just train you. We are not so expensive. We are affordable if you want to take it to the next level. Some of you want to even incorporate eTIMS to customers. You want to do it as a job. So there are people who are coming and telling us, let me understand eTIMS better so that I can offer it as a service. And we're okay. We just come and learn. So with that, I call it an afternoon. So may you have a lovely afternoon. Today is Friday. Have a lovely afternoon. For us, we are quite busy. We are rushing with the 9 days remaining to file your return. I'm just hoping you've been able to file. I did not do the filing individual income for employers, individuals, particularly for a reason. Because when I do that, I gotta charge you for that. So thank you so much. But demos are there, and it is very easy to also be able to do. I've shown you quite a lot, so you can interact with the system and be able to understand better. So with that, I say thank you, and have a lovely afternoon, and see you when we see each other, possibly in the next 2 weeks. We're also doing a lot of debates on finance bill, on the on the media handles. So you can go online and search for us. You can search for me, Regina Kemori, CPK. You're going to see me. And when we are having the conversation on the finance bill, you can also be able to participate. So thank you so much.
Ambassador.